Well, hello, how are you? My name is Steven, and I'm the designer of Bomber in a Book. You can see right there on the screen. I want to just give you a quick overview and show you what the game is like. So the game is divided into two main sections. So you have the book section, which has a left and right facing page. On the left, you can see the mission page. On the right is the squadron page. So if you look on the left, in the upper left-hand corner, you get mission information. You get the weather just to the right of that, and then there's target values under that. And along the left-hand section in a column, you'll see the mission zones. So these are the zones that you are going to be flying through, and then you have the target clusters. These target clusters uh, should have dice values, but this is a mission I just finished last night, so I didn't put the dice values in here. But the game has missions 1 through 14 as of this recording. This is mission 15. So basically what you do is it's kind of a roll and write. You'll have a certain amount of bombs that each of your bombers will carry, and you will select a flight plan. You'll have an insertion point or initial point where you'll be turning the bomber to perform the bombing run. So if you look here at IP, the initial point A, you'll see we go down through 3 different types or 4 different types of targets. There's a regular rail, there's a marshalling yard, there's a critical marshalling yard, and then there's an ammo dump at the end of that. The only way to hit this ammo dump is to use the IP of A. So when you make your flight plan in the beginning of the game, you'll be consulting this mission layout and wondering what the best course of action is that you want to go. And then when you're flying your mission, you'll see if you're going to go to mission to IPA in the mission, then here on the third box from start, including the start rather, you'll switch to A and you'll go down this column, this mission column to hit A. If you were hitting B, then you would use this. If you were hitting C, D, or E, you would just use the main mission. So this is how the mission is kind of structured, how you get involved in the planning, and then the execution each bomber has, well, it depends on how many bombs you're taking, 8, 10, or 12 bombs. So let's say you have 8. So the first bomber, you have 6 bombers. So the first bomber would roll their 8 dice and attempt to match the numbers on the target cluster tabs, these tabs. And if you were successful in that, then you were on the money, and then you can just proceed bombing the rest of the targets in whatever linear order that from the IP that you selected. On the bottom of the mission screen, or the mission page rather, is the flight dial. This flight dial calculates the modifiers that are going to be used for bombing and landing, etc. Next to that is the flak. There's a little flak table there. On the opposite side, we have the squadron page. And this is going to show you your bomber, where your fuel and your damage is, your defense values for the bomber. You're going to write in your armor value for the bomber, which is basically like a durability value. And then surrounding that on the peripheral, you see the interceptors, the enemy interceptors. I think I can just kind of zoom in on this. I can't really, can I go to the right? There's no scroll bar on the bottom. Well, isn't that interesting? Well, that's not fun. There's no scroll bar. Why is that? Sorry about that. I don't know why there's no scroll bar on the bottom. So the enemy interceptors are in groups, and you'll use the tables on this page to roll for how many groups are going to be attacking, the strength of the group, which will determine, for example, if group 5 is half strength, well, group 5 only has 2 planes, so there'll be 1 plane attacking. That's how that works. And then you'll have escorts on some instances. Here, if you look on the left on the mission page, you'll see as we go down to A, just after this target, there's a solo red icon. That red icon is the enemy interceptor, and there's no blue escort icon. So this will be a fight by yourselves. Just the 6 of your bombers. There will be no escorts available for that. Low information interceptor, like information page where it tells you the attack, defense, and armor value, the name, and then how many passes they make, and then the damage boxes on the planes themselves. The squadron page. This is where you sort of do your air combat fighting. So this is you don't need the left-hand side, which is the takeoff landing page, but I'll just quickly explain that since we're looking at it. The game has two different modes of taking off and landing. One is simple and one is full. The full version is what you see here, where you'll get a, what's the word I'm looking for? When you roll for takeoff, if you fail your roll, basing on the weather and the pilot skill, etc., if you fail that roll, then you'll get some negative consequence and you'll start on one of these lower triangles. And then at each checkpoint, you'll be able to save yourself or run off the runway and crash. So that is what that looks like. It's fun. I like it. It's not for everybody. There's a little bit of dice rolling, and 3-4 times you have to roll the dice, but it's pretty simple in its execution. Just some people don't like to do that, but if you don't, then you can just roll one time and then consult the table. But I like this way because you have the ability to avert disaster. So on the right side is the other sheet. So basically, you would be doing this with 3 sheets, and I broke it up into 3. I wanted to keep it on 2, but it was just a little easier to have the information on a third page. So the third page is what squadron is flying now. You'll see I already started a game here filling out some of the pilots. There's a little ordnance table for the bombs that you're going to take and the modifiers. There's a ground crew table for the repairs when you get back, like post-mission work. And then a place to log those issues. And then also included in the book is reserve pilot and reserve aircraft list and a reserve pilot skill. So when you roll for new pilots and such, you can roll to see what kind of skill they will have. And this bombing counter aid that I made is used while you're bombing the target cluster. It's easy to kind of lose track of how many dice you rolled. So this just makes it easier. You can count all 6 of your planes on one rack here. So this is the rack for the 8 count bomb load, and this is a 10 count bomb load, and this is a 12 count bomb load. So this is the game. It's available. So let me just kind of talk about this. The events tables, the random event tables, that's the biggest grouping of tables so far in the game. It's going to be 6 random event tables. I might make more, or I might make something as an add-on, but right now it's just simple. It's meant to be a simple game that you play without too many things going on. Like it's just two D6, 2 6-sided dice, a pencil, an eraser, or even a laminated sheet, and then a whiteboard marker. A whiteboard, that's not the name I'm looking for. So that's the game. It's meant to be like easy to play, fun, a little involved. There's a little bit of thinking involved, lining up the missions, what insertion point you want to go to, how much you can potentially score in mission points for each game will allow you to buy or spend the points to get some extra training for the crew and up their level. You'll see here there's an experience, what's the word? Experience track. So every time you are able to get an experience point, you would, fill in one of these little pips. Then when you get up to the upgrade symbol, then you would take this guy, for example, John Falk is a 2. You would bring him up to a 3. And the crew would also get moments to get upgraded as well. My goal for the game is to get this out before Christmas. Like I said, most of the game is done. I'm still fine-tuning the manual to explain rules and whatnot. If you're interested, it's on wargamevault.com, and we have a Discord channel if you want to leave feedback. The game right now is half price while it's in early access, and if I do put out, and I do want to put out a second book at least, that expansion, whatever expansion I do, will be free for all the early accessors. And that's it. Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the skies. Take care.